works with kids. So they invited me to come and, you know, guide the younger ones to be able to express themselves through writing. So, you know,
that's really cool.
People are doing really cool stuff.
I wanted to ask, please, do they accept kids like me? I need help. I like to learn.
I'm sure we can consider that option. We'll see where to put you.
All right. Before we go into our conversation, I'd like to remind our viewers that Lifestyle Daily is sponsored by 7Cs. Do you remember 7Cs? When we were growing up, 7Cs cod liver oil, 7Cs this, 7Cs that.
That yellow box was, it lives
with a ship on it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But thank you very much, 7Cs, for sponsoring the segment. Now your highlights for the weekend.
Of course, we still want the man in round glasses family member to leave the finance ministry.
Who are you describing the man?
Who is the man in the round glasses?
The man in round glasses.
The man in charge.
Yeah, you know.
The first gentleman.
Is this the man I say I like?
Yes, please. Her crush.
Oh, but he wears round glasses.
He does actually.
No, exactly.
Why am I offended?
Exactly. You see, I'm just describing the glasses. So yeah, I mean,
His Excellency.
His Excellency, Nana Ojari Wiem.
Abdul. What shall I say in Temo? What shall I say in Temo, Papa? Okay.
Guys, we're hoping that Akins will join us for
Absolutely.
this conversation. So Akins, wherever you are, we're really hoping so that you can join us.
Let me quickly also announce that our WhatsApp line is open.
Yeah.
So if you have comments, you know, questions, what you find fascinating about this weekend, your highlights as well, share them with us on our WhatsApp number 055-033-1511, 055-033-1511. What are we starting with this one?
Okay, Ewura, so I'm sure that last week was very busy in Parliament, especially because there's been that division and an uncertainty. Minority actually thought that the number of MPs that suggested they wanted a finance minister would come along with them in Parliament so that they can move that motion for vote of censure. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. Now, those MPs were actually, they defended their position by saying that yes, they want the finance minister to go, but they do not agree with the allegations that have been tabled by minority. Some of the allegations I remember is that mismanagement of the economic finances clearly, and particularly some payment or transfer of some monies into an offshore, monies that's supposed to be oil revenue into some offshore account. And there was a third one that Mr. Nambo might just find out.
I'm looking for it for you.
Okay, but here's what the Speaker of Parliament did. He said that, okay, well, the vote of censure cannot go on. It's important that the finance minister is giving a fair hearing. So a committee has been set up, okay, so that they probe the allegations. Before then, he'll be moved to Parliament for whatever it is that will take place. Yes, knowing what we know now, what's your position on this?
It's the same Ghana we live in, where everything keeps happening the same way. Of course, I was not expecting that Parliament was going to vote the finance minister out. Trust me.
You didn't, eh?
It would have come off as a huge surprise to me. If Ghana, what are you talking about? These are friends we are talking about who found themselves in Parliament and covering each other's backs. So you don't expect that they are going to sit there and NDC say, you know what, yeah, let's go on, let's push and let's get him out. They know exactly what they're doing. It's like a board game. Everybody knows what the next move is. Because MPs come out, over 80 of them, and say that we want the finance minister out of office. Only to go sit in a meeting with the president, come out and change their minds. What could possibly have happened at that particular meeting for them to just pop up and say, look, you know what, Yasisa Adrian, let's wait for him to read the budget, and once he's done reading the budget and the IMF money comes in and blah, 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 then he can go. They also mentioned that, yes, they want the finance minister out, but they want those allegations that have been leveled, I mean, not based on the allegations that have been leveled against him. Did they go ahead to tell us why they want the finance minister out then?
In the first place.
Is anybody asking that question? You're saying that, yeah, we want him out. Why do you want him out? You're not saying that. NDC started it and said, look, we want the finance minister out because people are going through it. The guy has not been able to manage our finances. He's overly borrowed. So much so that we don't even have money as a country. Just say, yeah, the cat. So we need to patch ourselves with IMF money that has not even come yet, so he can look beautiful in public and go and borrow again. So let's get him out. Let's get other people who would be able to better manage our economy for us. 6 years. There's nothing to write home about. Inflation. Nothing. What's he done? Dollar is how much? 14.8 now. My Bank of Ghana keeps giving us 13 point something rate on their Twitter. But the reality is different. And this man is still finance minister, someone who organized a Kenke party after we left, you know, IMF. What I mean, there's absolutely nothing Ken Ofori-Atta has achieved, and that's it on the ground. But I don't know why we keep garnishing it, and, you know, this guy, if Akufo-Addo does not kick him out, and if he doesn't resign, would serve his term till he leaves office. If
Parliament, he will not resign.
He will have said it. And that's my problem with Ghanaian politicians.
No, but
he's what?
Did you not hear him say that he's gone through pains and ache? You
For
never
us.
know. He probably is also going through it. Are we taking a minute?
And we are saying that we don't want you again.
Okay.
We don't care what pains and aches you've gone through. What's most important to us as Ghanaian people is that fix our economy and get our economy to work. If you do that, of course, we will continue, do the work for us. But you're not doing that. And this is bread and butter issues we are talking about. So if you're not performing, you're supposed to be in office to perform. If you're not performing, get out and let somebody else come in. I mean, we've seen in other parts of the world, someone gets into office and in less than 45 days, the person says that, look, I cannot deliver for you what you want me to deliver, so I'm leaving office. But of typical African politicians, you are not delivering, people are complaining, people within your own party are complaining. It's become glaring that everyone is going through it. So just step aside, just resign. It won't take anything.
What if he wants the opportunity to redeem?
Who redeem himself for being 6 years? You've not been able to do anything. 2 years now, can't redeem.
You never know.
2 years. What did the president tell us when he delivered that address to us, where he told us that money doesn't like noise? He told us that we would need the next how many years to be able to fix the country. The president himself said it,
6 years.
right? The president himself mentioned it. So clearly, Ken Ofori-Atta cannot fix the mess he has created in 2 years.
If he leaves, Godwin, if he leaves, who can? If he cannot fix it in 2 years, who
I
can
mean,
fix it?
The point is now, we don't care who else is coming. What's most important to us as Ghanaian people is that Ken Ofori-Atta should just get out. For all you know, when he gets out and a new face comes in, then it would bring in some confidence. Right, because the reason why we are going through all what we're going through is that, of course, investors are not happy with the man sitting there. There's so many business people who are not happy with the man sitting there. And so people just want him to leave. Let's get a new face pop up. And it might bring back some, investor confidence, boost some, confidence in some businessmen and businesswomen to be able to invest in the economy.
There's been rumors about Osache Mensah-Bosu, right? The majority leader in parliament, lobbying to be our next finance minister if he's removed. What do you make of it? Why?
That's all I have to say.
But you said you don't want. I don't understand Karimo.
No, Chairman Sabosu.
Wait. Karim, you said that we don't care. Finance minister should go.
Ken Ofori-Atta you don't want.
We just do not want Ken Ofori-Atta. But then Chairman Sabosu even worse.
But who? So
how do you know? How do you know?
Let's go to Swami.
I don't know when he asked, why do you know
but
Swami?
Swami is MP. He's MP. What do you call it?
And as an MP, he's a policy maker.
He's not a financial person there.
Well, I mean, he can.
You're talking about leadership in general.
God bless you. Let's leave it at that.
So if he's come around, what do we need to do more?
Well, I mean, some people have made mention of the likes of Honorable Sibe, who is also one very bright person when it comes to the finance space, and so I would look forward to such a person. But I think that even amongst themselves within the MPP, they know people who are competent enough to be able to run this
both him and his deputy.
They should just get that.
All of them. His team.
They should just get that.
Okay, I've seen the allegations. Let me quickly go through them. The minority has been pushing for the removal of the finance minister from office over allegations of conflict of interest, like MFA said, unconstitutional withdrawals from the consolidated fund, illegal payment of oil revenues into offshore accounts, deliberate and dishonest misreporting of economic data to Parliament, fiscal recklessness leading to the crash of the Ghana cedi, incompetent and frightening ineptitude, and gross mismanagement of the Ghanaian economy. All these things, all these allegations, do you side or do you differ?
Well, I mean, the only one that I cannot confirm would have to do with, the illegal withdrawals, right? I can't confirm. I don't have data from Bank of Ghana or anywhere confirming that.
Or the payment of offshore
but all of these, and the payment of monies into offshore accounts, but all of these other things are evident. I mean, of course, it's clear that our economy has been mismanaged. It's clear. It's clear that they reported fake data because the World Bank and IMF confirmed these things as well. So if you have a finance minister that reports fake data
Did
just
it really
to look.
reports fake data, or the numbers were supposed to be reviewed?
What happened?
I mean,
no.
Unsure 1,000. I was short zero bakuda. I would do tell any horse, please add the zero.
A little fool is not fit for a king, is it?
In this Ghana, they knew exactly what they were doing.
I see.
And that's my problem. That if the parliamentarians who have all of these evidence have come out to say A, B, C, D, I mean, who are we to sit back and say otherwise? They are in there. They know what happens in there and all of that. And that's still my point. That all of these things are happening. And we cannot come together as a people to hold him and take him. And this is what I have to say to the MPs. That look, especially the MPP MPs, because I saw the MPP release a statement warning their MPs not to partake in the vote against the finance minister. The point is that, yes, you belong to a political party. You run for office on the ticket of a political party. But remember that you are in parliament not to represent the political party, but to represent your constituency.
Absolutely.
So me, if I happen to belong to the constituency of any of these members of parliament of the MPP, I won't vote for them in 2024 because clearly they are not there to represent my interests.
It's a political
That's
interest.
something to look at.
That's interesting.
Yes, clearly I will not vote for them in 2024 because I sent you to parliament to represent my interests, not the interests of the political party you belong to. And mind you, not only members of your political party voted for you in 2016 and 2020 to go to parliament. And so it is time for you to take someone who's been you know, and just hold the person and take him out so that the place would cool down, we can save our currency, the economy would run and all of that. Then your political party tells you that don't vote against the person. Then you also go to parliament and do the same thing. So what kind of hypocritical U-turn is that?
What does this really mean for these members of parliament who came out to say that they will, they support the suggestion that the finance minister should step down and later acceded to the president's request? What does it mean to them and their constituents? What do you think that they went back to their constituents to revert?
No.
What does this really mean? Because I can imagine they are human beings too. The fear of having to serve both your people and the political party that you belong to. What else could they have done?
I can see the conflict there.
Yeah.
It's a huge conflict.
I get it. I understand you clearly. But at the end of the day, as I put it, you go to parliament to represent the people. Yes, the political party might have a stance and all of that. But what do the people want? And ask yourself, all of these MPs, how many of them even go back to their constituencies to ask, ask their constituents ask their opinion on issues? How many of them? They don't go. They wait till it's time for festive seasons, then they pack bags of rice and oil and tomatoes and what have you, go and distribute, and then come back and live in Accra.
But I can understand.
Sorry.
I can understand why the MPs would take the route they took, because yes, the people are complaining, the people are saying this is what we want, and 80 people come together and say that, yeah, this is what our people are saying. But then they're in a team, they're also in a political party, so they sit down and say, okay, this is what our people are calling for. I don't think that all 80 people will now come out and say that, or some can say that, oh no, I won't listen to what our president is saying. They start there and say, okay, maybe what he's saying, there's sense inside. Let's listen to. All of them came out to say that, okay, we think that this is the way to go. So in a way, they are not necessarily disappointing their constituent, but they're going. There's a plan, because you as one MP cannot change anything. I can go to parliament and vote as a person.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's a matter of principle. And for me, it's always principle. Look, if we are not careful, political parties will kill us.
They are killing us already, my brother.
So no, we are not dead yet. But if we are not careful, that's the route. I don't have a problem with being a member of a political party. I don't have a problem with people joining political parties and what have you. But for me, at the end of the day, it is the fact that we must have people who are principled enough to be able to say that A is wrong and B is wrong.
So you believe that a section of the 80 people should have contested what the president was saying?
As simple as that, so that you get the political party to understand that as much as we contest on your ticket, if you are towing the wrong direction, we will not be a part of it. It's as simple as that. That's
it happens in other countries.
Exactly,
in the UK especially.
And that's how politics should be.
Yeah.
So, this committee that's been set with...
But so
I know that Katie Hammond, one of the longest serving MPs in Parliament, is part of a committee or is chairing the committee. Can you find the second person?
Yes, I'll quickly go through.
Would you rather, what would you rather?
If Katie Hammond is part of the committee?
No, so the committee constituted by these two major people. They said it's bipartisan anyway.
Of course, so but Katie Hammond is chairing it.
Yes, and to be co-chaired by Adensi Asokwa, Member of Parliament, he's a Member of Parliament, of course, Kobina Tahi Hammond, that's Katie Hammond, of course, and Bolgatanga East MP, Dominica Ine.
Yep.
With other members.
He's NDC.
Okankwe, even I think members as Okankwe MP, Patrick Yabuama, and Andrew Ejapa Mesa, of course, majority, second MP, and Kwame Yumedu Enchi, Asante Achim Central MP, of all of New Patriotic Party, majority caucus. Okay.
So, forgive me, but I know there's procedure in this country. Ghana, but wait until you're in trouble. There are procedures and then there are laws.
Wait till you're in trouble and you don't have money.
Oh, good. Thanks for qualifying it for me. But I would have thought that we have the Public Accounts Committee. You know, where if you wanted to probe the allegations of a public
public officers,
you'd have thought that, you know. So I don't know what informed the decision in constituting this committee. I have not read the constitution. I've not read the standing orders.
You're lost. You should be educated.
You should be helping us.
MJ,
help
us. Send me a
message. We need to learn from you.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you think? Should you not have?
I think it's interesting what Demba said.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
and my point is that you see, Parliament at any point in time can drag the finance minister before you to answer questions if they have concerns. So why is Parliament not doing that? Why have they decided to form?
That's a representative. A committee is a subsection of Parliament.
So you put how many members of Parliament together to go sit every day, or maybe once a week, twice a week, to probe all of these matters in conduct investigations. They're going to be taking per diem, they're going to be taking allowances. Per diem,
one bottle twice.
No, because that is where a chunk of our money is going to.
Let me be calming down, because I want to join you in this particular one.
Join me.
Money is going there.
Yes.
You know, like you said, there's a public accounts committee, like which is already existing, like you said. And now I'm thinking about
there's the Auditor General.
Why didn't we put them before? Well, they also take money anyways.
But the Auditor General already put out its reports and what it finds a bit confusing in some of the things that
allegations that were made.
So why that's enough evidence?
So I want to know, is it procedure-wise? Is that what the standing orders
I don't know. I don't know what the standing order. I don't know what. Maybe you need to get.
MJ,
you are the law student.
Constitutional law. Let us understand it.
But I just feel that, you see, the typical Ghanaian political cabal would always look for loopholes and take advantage of those loopholes. I've been a student leader before. I've done student politics before, and whatever it is we are seeing happening today, mainstream, is the same thing that happens at the student level. Even worse.
True.
And the point is that we would always find loopholes. It happens. It's the same thing we are seeing. So they would find a loophole, they would drag the issue before you realize we are in 2024.
Absolutely, an election is about to start.
And that's it. He's done. So his party is kicked out of office, the next party comes, they cover up everything, and they move on.
Interesting. So
okay,
are you
we'll
hopeful of whatever?
Sorry.
Are you hopeful? Is he hopeful that what will come out from the investigations and if Parliament?
I've told you that I will be very surprised if Parliament kicks the finance minister out. I'll be extremely shocked.
What would that mean for Ghanaians, by the way? How would we feel about it? How would Ghanaians
then at least we would have some confidence in our Parliament.
But honestly, it's beautiful to know that they actually nursed the idea of vote of censure. I really never heard that.
Oh, they cooked it.
They cooked it?
Oh, yes.
Okay, let's think Parliament then. Who are we? But I think we look forward to this committee, and these people that constitute this committee, it is in their best interest to bring a very fair.
But once Katie Hammond is there, forget about it.
Why?
I think he's quite a.
He's quite what? He's the most unserious MP I've ever come across. I'm saying it with no apologies.
Really? What'd you say so?
No, but I think that KP Hammond just talks anyhow, as a member of Parliament, and I find that very unfortunate, because as an honourable, you're someone that we expect to demonstrate some level of leadership and maturity when it comes to. But when you have young people in the country that you serve as a member of Parliament, come out and complain about things happening in the country, you don't tell us that, we're a bunch of. I'm trying to find the example, but basically what he was telling us, we're just a bunch of useless people who don't have anything to do with our lives, and so we should shut up.
Okay.
Right, and I find that very unfortunate.
That shuts me up.
Yeah, so anytime I hear, because anytime he comes out to talk, he just talks anyhow.
Interesting.
I know that he has his ways of saying things. I'm gonna go back to listen to a few of his interviews
go back.
His comments, you know.
Yeah.
But I just know that when he's talking, he has my attention because he says it quite differently.
He has her attention, so maybe that means
a lot of people have MF's attention.
Now
I'm scared.
Wow.
The people that are having my attention there.
Let's stay in Parliament and Adwoa for my MP, my favorite MP. Alpha, your favorite MP. My slant is not coming. Your favorite MP, my favorite MP, your favorite MP too. Our favorite MP.
Our favorite MP.
Why? What's going on?
With the slangs. Oh,
yeah,
man, you don't know what's going on.
But if you know how culture is.
Yeah, when you stay in the press for a long time.
And if you live in an environment for at least 21 days, you start to pick up the
accent.
culture.
Yeah, that's right. It's true. I believe you. Okay. So let's talk about Adwoa back in Parliament. Okay.
How do you assess her comfortability in, assimilating back into Parliament?
I already told you that you see, the whole political system is a cabal, and they are there to cover up for each other. In any serious country, Adwoa should not be coming back to Parliament.
Why not?
Because the laws are clear. She's been absent for how many days consistently? 15. Who permitted her to be absent?
She put out her permission. She said she went through
granted by who? Because the Speaker also made it clear that he did not grant Adwoa permission.
Yeah. So it was her word against the Speaker's?
If indeed she was given permission, who granted it? Yeah. It's supposed to be official, with a signature and stamp on it. So Adwoa should put it out and tell us that this is the permission I was granted to be absent from Parliament for these number of days. Because I remember quite clearly that Eugene Ahin, when she was about to, go on whatever, I don't know, break, put it out there that she's been granted permission by the president and she was supposed to resume when August 2021. August 2021, Adwoa is not back as Minister of Gender, as Member of Parliament for Dominic constituency. And there's a whole brouhaha about it. We only see Adwoa when we're about to vote for E-levy. And afterwards, Adwoa Jakpes again. Until today. In any serious country, Adwoa should not be coming back to Parliament. But you see the confidence with which she dresses and enters Parliament. So clearly, and that's why I keep telling her, it's a cabal. They are always going to be there to cover up for each other. And once again, I would have been shocked to the core if indeed Parliament kicked out Adwoa.
The way you describe it is very...
Can Parliament ever kick out a member of Parliament?
But the laws are clear.
Remind me, what does the law
But the law tells us that if a member of Parliament vacates the seat for 15 days, 15 sittings consistently without permission, the person ceases to be a member of Parliament. So you declare the seat vacant.
I think it conflicts with what they say about the by-elections, what is required. And so I think, again, our laws in this country are left for interpretation. That has been the problem. When the law is not very explicit and very expressively done, then it is left for people to interpret, and you have to depend on whoever is interpreting it.
Shouldn't the laws of Parliament be very clear? If we're discussing the Constitution in general, I can understand, and people calling for its re-amendment or amendment, re-amendment, whichever way. But for the laws, the standing orders of Parliament, and the things that tell you why a person should be kicked out, shouldn't it be clear? Should it be left to interpretation, like MFI is saying?
Well, I think those things are very clear, but then also sometimes those standing orders contradict what's in the Constitution as well.
Okay.
Then that's where the problem is. So it still brings us to the point that the drafters of the Constitution were very smart people. They knew exactly what they were doing.
They deliberately created loopholes?
What, you don't know?
So I think the standing orders can qualify to be regulations or rules as well.
Yeah.
And we have, over the period, believed that rules are more like an organism, so they grow, they evolve, so that they can suit a particular period. Otherwise, then, so I think they leave the laws in the way. So it's highly dependent on the speaker or the person that has the duty to interpret it. She must interpret it fairly enough to suit the aspirations and the dreams of the people at a particular time. Because if it is very strict and rigid, then that'll be quite inhumane.
I mean, of course,
yes.
Yeah,
it makes sense. But do you think the reasons she gave, I mean, being in the United States and whatever, if we're considering a human side
doing what in the United States?
Oh, is that what she's doing? She's taking care of her
maternity
family.
Care and all of that.
women, she's a woman, she'll be able to tell you that.
No, I understand, granted.
Childbirth takes a lot away from you.
I mean, granted, I get it.
You say she's not the only woman.
I have 7 sisters.
Do you?
Yeah.
I saw that coming.
Yeah, I have 7 sisters.
Wonderful.
And so exactly, I understand exactly what it means to be a mother and having to spend time with your kids and take care of your kids and all of that. But sometimes I just feel that if you have another responsibility that you need to take care of, which is being a member of parliament, you're obviously mother for all of the people in your constituency, and you feel that, you need to give more attention to your immediate family, which is your kids and all of that, then respectfully vacate the seat for someone who can vacate the seat for someone who would make time to run the office, because you cannot on any day put whatever happens in your house above family, that of the people,
the nation.
Let's ask the
question.
There's a
dereliction of duty.
Yeah. You're a Dom Kwabinya.
I'm what?
You are in Dom Kwabinya. Is it Domi Kwabinya or Dom Kwabinya?
Some people say Dom Kwabinya. Domi Kwabinya.
Okay.
Domi like love me. Yeah? Love me.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay.
So as in Domi. We don't know, but we know Domi Kwabinya.
Okay. So my very beautiful co-host here is from Dom Kwabinya.
I live in Dom.
You live. He's coming from Dom Kwabinya this morning right now. Have you been picking up anything, like some sort of agitation? The constituents feeling like, because you can have a mother at home, then she can travel for a month. She's not there physically, but the templates and systems she's put in place is still, you're running. When there's time for food, there's food. When there's that, So do you think here, as a constituent, do you want her to go?
Yes.
You want her to go?
Do I want her to go? That's a very tough question for me.
Very dicey question.
I'm telling you, I've lived there for almost 5 years.
Okay.
Almost 5 years. So I've heard some complaints like you're saying, but the thing is that when Adjoa Safo was even in Parliament, people were still complaining. Even when she was present, there were a lot of complaints, especially for our roads, which have been constructed now. So big ups to you, Adjoa Safo.
There are some potholes on them.
The potholes, they're always, even in East Legon, there are potholes. So
is that not have you ever gone into a constituency
where there are no challenges?
And
the major challenge in Kutomi Kwabinya was the road.
Yeah.
We had terrible
so
roads.
Causing the traffic.
Huge, a lot. And they've been, my dear, from Hacho going to Pokwase,
Charlie,
crazy. So but those roads have been fixed. And so even when she was present, there were these challenges and people were calling for, so there will always be that. And she not being present in Parliament, honestly, I didn't think it was affecting Dom Kwabinya in any way. I'm thinking, or maybe because I'm a little privileged and I move from my whatever, I use the good road and then come and pass and go to work, so I don't feel what the people in the other places are feeling.
No, but Godwin, what's the role of a member of Parliament?
Make policies.
Exactly.
So and when it was time for e-levy, she was there.
Okay, aside e-levy, what about the others? What about all the other conversations that took place in Parliament? Aside e-levy, all the other... And e-levy, she only came to vote, remember?
But that's the meaning of your contribution,
Her inputs would have been nice, eh?
What do I feel like? I'd be hired as a lawyer.
No, of course, you're only playing the devil's advocate, and that's the role you play as a host of a show. So you're supposed to probe the issues. But my point is that you're supposed to be in Parliament to represent the interests of the people, to ask questions, to put forth suggestions and present solutions and all of these things in Parliament. And so because we even have members of Parliament who have been in Parliament
That's what I'm saying.
for 3-4 terms, and they have never spoken.
It doesn't change anything.
And you see, that's still another problem I have with Ghanaian people. That at the end of the day, we will still go back and vote for these same people. Someone will tell you that my constituency no pay for punch be see ho never MPP at addition you better am punch no. And that's exactly what happens in Dom Kwabinya. Because people will tell you clearly that we are MPP.
That's it.
If you want bring a goat, give it an MPP shirt, we would vote for it. We won't vote for the NDC candidate.
The guy who contested at Adjoa Safo came very close. What's his name?
It was MPP. During the primaries. Because
during the primaries, it was a very
NDC
candidate. That was the first time somebody had come that close.
Because it's still MPP.
So the votes were divided. Sort of those who really liked him.
Yeah, of course. That was Michael Quay's son.
Yeah, Michael.
Yes.
But again, let's focus on the NDC.
The lady
that contested. She made a mark.
No, of course. Of course, yes.
She made a mark because
for the first time the margin was...
Yeah, the margin was very impressive. But anyway, do you not look forward to how she would blend in? She says that she feels good to be back so far. She's comfortable. She's okay going about her duties and all. That's okay, right? We let things be.
We just hope that she doesn't japa again.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh, well, let's take a breather. We've been talking for a very long time. Guys, you're watching the AM Club on MX24 TV. We're going for a quick commercial break. We'll be back. Welcome back to the AM Club on MX24 TV. We are home of fun, fearless, and factual programs. My name is Godwin Nambo, here with the beautiful, beautiful Emefa Akosia Adati. Joining us this morning in our newspaper review, we have Akin Sopoku, who is a youth activist. He joins Ira Adams Karim to have the conversation on what's been happening in Ghana. You missed out a lot, but quickly, maybe you can touch on
a recap.
Let me say a very good morning to you. So
it's a calmness for me.
Your cherished, viewers.
That's how they
I'm
start.
sorry for, coming late.
It's okay.
Yes, I think that over the weekend, over the past few weeks, the developments that we've seen in our country, for me, and from where I sit, I think that is one of the best, especially what's happening at our parliament. It deepens our democracy, especially where you had members of parliament, from a ruling party, triggering a process of, a vote of censure on their own finance minister. It tells you that our democracy has grown, and it tells you that Ghana is on the right path. I am only fascinated as to what happened at Parliament when, the motion was being moved by the minority leader. I am of the view that, yes, indeed, regardless of however we think of the finance minister, he should be given the fair hearing as being proposed by the majority, which was accepted by the Speaker of Parliament. Because you would agree with me that even people who kill people, murderers, they are given the opportunity to a fair trial. And so I am of the firm belief, and I am with the majority and the Speaker, saying that let's give the finance minister the fair hearing. And it will help all of us, because at the end of the day, it means that we are going to have a fact-finding committee which will give finality to the allegations that are being thrown out by political, commentators. Because now the conflict of interest issues are going to be investigated. The issue of budget, misappropriation are going to be investigated. And at the end of the day, you and I, my senior here, Ira Karim Adams, would have the opportunity to now have a fact-based evidence to either criticize or say that, okay, Mr. Finance Minister, all that we were saying is true or not. And so I believe that it is the right way to go. And I know that my brother would also accept that, yes, indeed, it is the right way to go.
Let me ask you, as a young person, do you have a business? Are you an entrepreneur, or you?
No. I just completed.
School. Beautiful. That's what you chop money.
Okay. What is your overall assessment of the finance minister's performance since he came to that office?
For me, growing up, from where I grew up, and as a matter of principle, whenever I am given the opportunity to do an assessment, I do not pick and choose. Right? I make a fair assessment of the tenure, of a particular person. And so when I'm doing an assessment of the finance minister, for me, I am going to do an assessment from 2017 till now.
Go ahead.
Now, when you check the macroeconomic indicators, right from 2017 when the finance minister took office, clearly you could see that there was some form of improvement in terms of our inflation rate and our interest rate. It reduced to some point. Now we are in 2022, where 5 years down the lane. I mean, I know that my brother here would see this as very controversial and would run commentaries on that. But we cannot say that whatever that is happening here in Ghana is unique. I don't know whether I get me. Whatever that is happening here in our country is happening in other countries as well.
That's not a problem. What do you think? How
I'm making my assessment. You know, when you allow me to build my point,
okay,
I would get to where I want to make my assessment. It is a fact that whatever that is happening here in Ghana is not unique to our country. It is happening in other, jurisdictions because of the aftermath of COVID and other issues as well. And so for me, I think that the finance minister, looking at his previous achievement and now, is only bearing the brunt of, let me say, unforeseen circumstances. And so for me, from where I sit, the majority have said that, they want the finance minister out, same way as the minority. If we think that where we are as a country today, we need a fresh face and a new face at the finance ministry, why not?
Is it face or hands? Is it the face we are looking for, or the ability, the skills?
That is why I'm saying that when we are talking about the capacity and the abilities of a person, when you look at the first term, where he was the finance minister, you could clearly see that there was some form of improvement.
You're not judged you don't to be capable if there are no challenges. We assess you by how you manage challenges.
Exactly.
It's not when everything is rosy. Everybody at all can handle anything.
That is why I'm saying that has the finance minister or this government proposed certain solutions to the economic crisis that we are facing?
No.
Yes.
Which are?
In fact, when the president made his address, the president gave about 12 points where the president told the Ghanaian people that these are solutions, immediate, and long-term solutions that as a government, we are doing to help salvage the economic crisis that we are facing. You may disagree with it, but the point is that there are some measures that are being put in place.
What measures?
If you would allow me
sometimes we need to interject to bring clarity to the issues. What measures?
Now, one of the measures that this government has proposed through the president's address is that let us cut foreign, monies that we give to companies to import.
Is this not foreign? Is this not public knowledge?
No, you see, the point is that whether it is public knowledge or not, I mean, when I was in JHS, SHS, we all know that these are some of the things that excessive importation, brings about, deficit in our balance of, payment trace and all of that. We all know. But the point is that this time around, the government has made some commitment to it that
How?
These are the roadmaps that we are using to ensure that we salvage the economic crisis that we are in by telling the Bank of Ghana that cut the monies, the foreign monies that you give it to these companies to import, the likes of chicken,
but you're not producing enough chicken. You're not producing enough rice.
What will be the solution?
That is why
I think that's another day conversation.
One step at a time. What I am failing to understand and insulate my feeling right now that if you have a road, there's a road that existed already. This is not the first government. We've had governments that have come and we have known what we need to do over the period, Is it that the Bank of Ghana didn't know this and we needed to be reminded again? Is it that we had to wait for Ghanaians to be shouting and ranting and calling before we start putting out these 12 measures? And these 12 measures, being objective, do you find it very different from what you may have heard 5 years ago?
You see, I agree with you that these are problems that already existed. And in fact, successive governments had failed to take actions in that regard. But the point is, are we going to leave it as it is? I am of the opinion that once the government has committed to ensure that, yes, we've been saying it. I mean, these are rhetorics that we've been saying, but let us take action now. It is a duty on myself as a youth of this country and the agencies in government to ensure that now we walk the talk because we are all not comfortable with it. you know, the situations that we are in right now. I pick a car, I pay the exorbitant fares that we are paying now.
Not with your money, though.
Now, whose money?
So I will feel the heat too.
So we are all feeling the heat, and in fact, the president of the land has even acknowledged the fact that we are in crisis,
okay,
and so we need to take these measures.
With 36 V8 to his convoy.
Let's cut to the chase. Let's cut to the chase. We are where we are now. The vote of censure was actually they wanted to start it, but. Speaker says that let's constitute a committee so that they probe, as you have said.
Exactly.
Your preamble was just so brilliant that every person deserves a fair hearing, which we all agree. But do you think that a committee which he's been directed to, this committee also forming members of parliament, members who are stakeholders, who have interest in this conversation, do you think it is the right place? It's like, you know, for fair hearing's sake, it's like going to charge a treason case at a district court.
I get your point, but for me, when I looked at the members of the committee, with the benefit of the doubt, these are people that have exhibited some form of integrity, and they have shown in terms of competence in their area.
What happened? We were speaking earlier, Era and Gordon were here. We're okay. They've exhibited whatever it is, but we're asking what happened to the Public Accounts Committee? Is that not their duty?
You know, public's asking to investigate the allegations that have been leveled against the finance minister. You know, I think that the workings of the, you know, the public accounts, you know, committee and these issues are different. This is an issue that seeks to cast a vote of censure on a minister, based on certain allegations that have been leveled against him. And so it is only right that we set a committee to investigate into the matters, to arrive at a conclusion whether or not he has been found guilty of those allegations or not. And so for me, I think that within the 7 days, they should come out with their report, and it will serve us right. My brother Karim and I will be here, and then we are going to debate the report as it would be put out, and then we'll see the way forward.
We're moving to the final. We're moving to the final topic for today. But again, I'm asking, after the committee's report, since they hold the position as members of parliament, would they lose their right to vote if there's a need for vote of censure? Do you think they should still hold that right to vote? The committee, because the committee is constituted of members of parliament.
Exactly. You know, once the committee is done with their work, that is not the final, you know.
I agree. When
it will come to the floor for them to debate. Once they are members of parliament, why not? Nobody can take their right to vote on the matter. I mean, they should be allowed to exhibit or cast their vote as to whether or not they want the finance minister out or not. My point is that, for me, it is a win for our democracy, because this time around we have members of parliament of the ruling government triggering such a process. And I believe that at the end of the day, all of us here are going to be proud of ourselves that indeed our democracy has moved to a point where we can be bold, or we can be proud of.
Nice.
Quickly.
I'm fascinated.
You know, he talks just like Nana, very convincing, but all be lie. Nana, very convincing, but all be lie.
Era, so have you heard about the teacher associations going on strike because of the new GES, Director General, Director General for Education. Do you agree?
I'm privy to it, but I just feel that it is not enough reason for them to want to go on a strike action. If someone has been brought that you feel you cannot work with, you cannot cooperate with, you feel the person does not meet the standards to occupy the office, I'm sure there are other avenues that you can use to resolve that particular matter. I mean, write to the president, petition the Ministry of Education, and all of that. Use some of these other measures, but to deny kids, their education because of that, I find it.
But you have said in the beginning, when the parliament conversation started, that you don't believe in the system, and perhaps these teachers also don't think that petitioning the president, they think it won't go anywhere. So maybe the only way to do this.
But see, Godwin, there are some issues that we must not gamble with, and that's what I'm saying. Going on a strike because you do not agree with the appointment of someone would deny kids education, and for me that's very worrying. As for the finance minister's issue, it's different, way different from that. But to go on a strike action because you feel that someone who's been appointed as Director General, you do not agree with, you feel you cannot work with the person does not meet, the qualifications that you're looking for, and so because of that, you're going to embark on a strike action. I find that very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. I think they should rethink that particular decision and then let's, find other avenues like petitioning the president, petitioning the ministry, and all of that to be able to. You can boycott some other things, but to say that you won't go to work, because kids are supposed to go to school. You're supposed to teach them, and so because you don't agree with whatever decision that's been made by the president and all of that, and you see, sometimes that's another problem that I have with Akins and his people. It's okay if you want to give party boys appointments. Of course, people work for the party; they deserve to chop and all of that. But I believe that there are so many other people within the MPP that, meet certain standards that the teacher unions are looking for to occupy that particular office. So the president should have just cast his eyes around and, find the qualified person and put him there instead of the usual putting of, square pegs and round holes that we see happening. So for the strike action there, I'm not in support of this particular one.
All right, as for me, I think that this issue is a very passionate one to me because growing up, I grew up in
all be like
don't do that to him. I beg you.
Growing up, I saw the teaching profession as a noble one. In fact, growing up, I had wanted to be a teacher.
The noble one.
To be a teacher myself.
Oh, really?
Yes. I mean, I taught for 2 years when I completed senior high school, and so I had that passion for teaching. But for me, I think that what the teachers are doing is one way or the other degrading that kind of.
The strike is over, by the way.
Yeah,
because, but what they did for me was needless because at the end of the day.
But they gave timelines.
No, the point is that somebody has the appointing power. It is not of the teachers, and so you do not tell me how I should exercise that appointing power. For me as a youth, tell us that we are not paying the government is not paying your salaries. Tell us that the government is not paying your research allowances so that we can say something for you or we can jump to your defense. But you do not go on a strike and then tell me that child in Mel, that child in Tatale should not enjoy education just because you feel disgruntled about someone's appointment. In any case, listen to some of the arguments that they give, that the person is not an educationist. Dr. Eric, is not an educationist. He's not part of them and all of that, that the GES position is for educationists. I mean, some of these things, when you listen to it, for me, I'm a bit surprised as to these reasons because at the end...
You don't think, sorry to catch you, you don't think that an office like the DG of the Ghana Education Service, such big office where policies will be made, where things will affect the education ministry, if a group of people believe that this person coming there is going to ruin, you understand what I'm saying? It's going to ruin the entire office of the DG.
I think he based his argument on the fact that they said that particularly he's not an educationist.
Yeah.
So he's not competent.
And so they think that he's not committed. That argument actually, if you listen to Akins, might be flawed because some years ago, the minister in charge of education was not education.
He was a doctor.
I mean, there are so many people who are in charge of certain ministries.
So that's why they say the argument you put forward now would shoot you in the foot. So you
my only disagreement with you, though, would be that where you say you don't think that we should tell the president or the person with the appointing authority how he should,
make
use
his
that power.
appointments.
For there, I would disagree with you because even he, the president, we put him there. He didn't put himself
you
there.
See, you are misquoting me.
I'm not misquoting
what I'm saying is that the power to appoint is with the president, right? You do not tell the president or
who to appoint.
But
you can challenge who he appoints.
Exactly.
You can challenge who he appoints based on the kind of work that the person is. That is why today we are sitting here saying that the finance minister should be sacked. It is because of his works.
So you agree he should be sacked?
No, if you allow me to make that choice, you
please allow the gentleman.
Other people like Karim, okay, and some majority members and minority members are of the opinion that based on the works of the finance minister, he should go. But this time around, this GES director that has been appointed has not even started work.
Okay.
And then boom, you are saying that the person should be sacked.
Maybe they don't want it to get to the finance minister's
This same person was a director in charge of pre-tertiary. You've worked with him. And so at that,
so they've said it works.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, so they said it works. Then they have a point. Then they have a reason to say that no, he shouldn't be DG. Think about it. You said works.
No, you're not getting
works.
You're not getting.
Oh,
the reasons that they
gave.
No, listen to me.
You just educated us. I didn't even know it was
the reasons that they gave.
The reasons that they gave. They never attacked his works as a director at pre-tertiary. I don't know whether it gets me. All that they are saying is that for the director for Ghana Education Service, it is for educationists alone. Why are they? Is the person going to teach at the Ghana Education?
But maybe
Service?
the person needs to understand the system to
This,
empathize
and
with
I'm
them
telling
better.
you that this same person has taught at Kumasi Technical University for the past 15 years.
Okay.
This same person is the immediate past director general for pre-tertiary, and so this man has worked within the educational sector.
Okay, then it will look like now you are giving us reasons why he should be there.
Exactly, and I'm saying
that what
that,
you're doing?
and I'm saying that, just like Karim said, these teachers, okay, could have found a better way.
Yeah.
All right, to come out with their grievances, but to tell us that you are going on a strike, so that my sister or my brother who is in Tatali.
But we also know the role of strikes or demonstrations. They put pressure on that particular situation that they want something resolved because they gave timelines.
But
and
has it been resolved?
On the 4th of November, they gave and said that after that, if you don't heed to our call, so that it's also not an ultimatum, so that every time group of people say we don't like this person, then it is changed. That will also be very unfair on that arm of government, executive, because they do their appointments. But to think that strike does not play any role, it sounds unfair.
No, I never said that.
No, not you. I'm not saying
not
you.
done, yeah.
I mean, the people are saying that you shouldn't have gone on strike because kids have to be in class and all of that.
Yeah.
But they must take the most painful route for you to hear them out.
Not with an appointment. Just that you feel disgruntled about someone's appointment. Let me say this, and it might sound
Briefly,
very controversial. That if we don't take care and tell the teachers that what they did was not the right way to go, tomorrow we'll wake up and come and sit here, and somebody and his wife will have a problem, and they'll tell us that because I have a problem with my wife, I'm going on strike.
Akins Opoku is a youth activist. Karim.
Yeah, I'm done. I've seen that you guys have sent a few messages. Okay. Akins is just giving us political talk. Let him be objective with the submissions and opinion. I am Mandem from Ejisu. The Minister of Parliament can do nothing with his raids. If they want to sack someone from Parliament, it's supposed to be the President. That I'm not too sure of. There was a message that came for Ewura as well, but okay. I agree with Karim as saying Ghanaian leaders are so selfish. They don't care about what the citizens are going through at all. They care about their bellies. Shaking my head. Thank you so much for all of your messages, but unfortunately our time is up. We'll do this again next Monday.
Absolutely. Right? Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you. No social media. Should we say social media?
For me, you can find me everywhere. Ewura Adams Karim. EWURAADAMSKARIM.
All right.
Have you apologized to your audience for coming in?
Oh yes, I have apologized. they should forgive me for coming later.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. You're done. Next, we have what Motivation Monday is up next. Having an interesting conversation. Before that, have we done Money Talks already?